And then when you're ready, we'll start lying down. So you're just going to take yourself down towards the ground. And so as you bring yourself down towards the ground, you can just lie in any comfortable position. So lying flat in Shavasana style is fine as well. Just taking a few moments just to connect with your breath. Start to draw yourself inwards. Allowing the breath to smooth out and the body to release a little bit. And then start to imagine a golden glow at the base of your feet. Start to feel that glow moving along the toes, along through the sole of your foot, and through the front of your foot. That warm golden glow starts to move up through your legs, through your shins, your calves, the front of your knees, and the back of your knees. Golden glow starts to move up through the back of the upper thighs, the back of your legs and the front of your legs, up towards your hips. The golden glow starts to move up through the lower abdomen, the upper abdomen and the chest, through the lower back, the mid back, and the upper back. Golden glow starts to move towards the shoulders, to the front and the back of your shoulders, to your collarbones and your chest. Golden glow starts to move down through your arms, through the upper arms, to your elbows, to the lower arms, to the hands and your fingers. Golden glow continues to move up through your neck, through the back of your head, through the front of your neck and your face. Softening your jaw, relaxing your eyes, smoothing out your forehead, and releasing the crown of your head. That warm golden glow enveloped your entire body. Leaving it relaxed, at ease, and calm. When you're ready, move a little bit. So just through your fingers and through your toes. And then we're just going to start to bend your knees. If you just bring your feet flat onto the ground, start to be aware of your feet, at the toes. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. You can allow your arms just to rest onto the ground as well here. I'm going to come into a little bridge here. So when you're ready, on your next inhale, we're going to start to tilt the pelvis and lift the hips up. We're just moving up to the top of your bridge. So just taking your time. Exhale at the top and then slowly release all the way down, trying to move down just one teeny little bit at a time through your spine. So we'll do that again. So as you inhale, start to lift the hips, pressing through your feet. So start to feel a balance through your feet, through your hips, through your legs. Exhale at the top. And inhale, start to slowly release down. Start to feel the connection of your spine towards the mat. Each time you drop down a little bit more. Release all the way to the bottom. Do that again. So inhale, start to lift and move up. So taking your time, so as if you're kind of peeling your spine up off the ground. Exhale. As you inhale, slowly release all the way back down. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So when you're ready, start to move yourself back up again. Now this time we're going to stay at the top of the bridge. So we're just going to lift up and hold up at the top. And then from here, if you want to, on an inhale, you can lift one heel just a little bit off the ground. And then slowly release it down. And then changing sides, lift through the other heel. And allow it to lower. So you could stay with that. If you want, you could maybe pick your whole foot up off the ground. So just see how that feels. And lower it down. But trying to keep yourself balanced. Spread the toes on the other foot. So you're feeling grounded through the other foot. And you're either lifting your heel up or you're lifting your foot up. It's really up to you. Okay, we'll just do one more of these, just on either side. So take your time. And just when you're ready, we'll start to lower ourselves all the way back down towards the mat. As you come down, we'll draw the knees in towards your chest and take the hands on top of the knees or on top of the shins. And then as you inhale, we're going to draw the knees in, we're going to lift the upper body up. We're just going to give it a little squeeze. So just holding that position if you can when you come up. And if you need to lower your upper body down, so if you need to lower your head and your neck down, then do that. But just breathing there, drawing the knees in, curling the tailbone up. We'll take one more inhale. Slowly release everything all the way back down. And then when you get there, we'll take the hands underneath the back of your thighs this time. And we're just going to move forwards and back here. So if you want to, you can roll a few times. If you don't want to roll a few times, then you just come up. If you want to get that little massage through your spine, then do that. And then just when you're ready, we'll make our way up to a sitting position. So as you come up, we're going to bring the feet out in front of us. So we're going to sit upright if you can. You could use your block here if you'd like to, so you could sit on the block, which might help you. Or you could take your hands behind you as well and just use them to support you. Have your feet slightly wider than your hips, so they're not too close together. Lift up as tall as you can, so the shoulders are over your hips. And then we're going to start to move through your feet. So we're going to flex your feet. So we're going to draw the feet back towards you really quite strongly so that all of the muscles in your legs become engaged as you do that. And then as you exhale, we'll start to press the feet away. And again, try and use the whole of your leg and try and get the stretch in your ankle as you do that. So we'll do that again. So inhale, start to pull the feet back, draw them back. And on that exhale, start to press them away. Okay, we'll do that twice more. So again, just working with your own breath. Start to link the breath to the movement a little bit. And start to feel the muscles in the legs warming up a little bit. And this time, as you come back, we're going to keep the feet flexed. So keep that strong flexion through your feet. And we're just going to move the toes this time. So try and keep your feet still and just curl the toes under. And then start to pull the toes back again. Do that again, use it with your breath. So inhale, curl the toes under. And watch that every toe kind of curls under. So some of them become a little bit sticky, some of them become a little bit stiff. So we want to try and use them all. Do that once more. And this time, keeping the toes pulled back, we're going to spread your toes. So just concentrate on each toe, spread them apart, and then release them. And spread your toes as much as you can, releasing the toes. And do that twice more, so just see if there's some that kind of stick together more than others. And do that once more. Well done. Okay, this time we'll move through the legs and the hips a little bit more. So inhale here, and then as you exhale, we're going to try and take the little toes and we're going to try and press them down towards the ground. They might not get there, but you can see. So they're pushing them out to the side and down. And then back into the middle. And then this time, bring the big toes together. So you're trying to touch the big toes down. And again, if you're quite tight in the hips like me, you probably won't get very far, but you can see. So back into the center on the inhale. And as you exhale, the little toes, press them down towards the ground. So moving it more into the hips and to the legs. Inhale to the center. And then as you exhale, start to push the big toes down towards the ground. Inhale, center. Exhale out. This time we're going to circle all the way around it. We're going to use these movements. So we're going to come back into the center. The big toes, you're going to try and bring them to the ground. But then you're going to push them away. So as if you were pointing the toes and pointing the ankles. Take the little toes out to the side and then flex your feet as you draw it back into the center. So big toes, push them away, out to the side of the little toes and back up. So we're just circling around. And then when you're ready, change direction on that. So take it the other way. So go out to the side, down, big toes in and up. We're still sitting up tall as you move through your feet and through your legs. Do that once more. And then when you're ready, come back up to a sitting position. We're going to come in for a forward fold here. So if you bring your legs maybe a little bit closer together, you can certainly bend your knees, sit upright, and you could use your strap here. So if you've got it handy, just grab it. So inhale to reach up. And on the exhale, just folding forwards towards your legs. So again, take your hands onto your legs, maybe onto your ankles or your feet, or use your strap and take it around the ball of your foot. And try and lengthen the spine forwards. Keep the chest lifted a little bit. And your just stays on your toes. And your breath is even. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, just slowly start to make your way back up again. So take your time as you come back up. Okay, from here, we're going to come to all fours. So just take your time moving yourself around. And come onto your hands and onto your knees. As you come in, we'll just do a few cat-cow movements here. So when you're ready, with your hands spread, on an inhale, drop the belly and start to lift through your chest. On the exhale, pull the belly in, round your upper back and your shoulders. Start to move through it just at your own pace. Okay, we'll do that one more time, so take your time. And on your next inhale, you just come back in towards the center. Draw your belly in. Take one more inhale, and from here we're going to step back with your right leg. So we're going to keep the right toes on the ground here. And the reason for that is to try and stretch the toes out, but also to stretch through your calf a little bit. So the toes are down, and we're pressing strongly away through your back heel. Belly is pulled up and in, and we're pushing up and out of the shoulders. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Now from here, we're going to move side to side a little bit. So you can release your toes a little. You can either keep your foot on the ground, and you're just going to move out to the side and then back into the center. So we're just moving out to the side a little bit and back into the center. If you want to, you could lift your foot up so it's more level with your hip and do the same thing. But try to keep your hips still. So we're not moving the leg all the way around. The hips kind of skew out. We're just moving it around as far as we can while keeping the hips as still as you can. And then we'll do two more like that to keep everything else nice and still. When you're ready, slowly come back in, releasing the knee back down. Just press back into a child's pose. You can reach the hands out here, maybe get a little stretch across your shoulders, and you can drop the head down if you'd like. From here, we'll start to make our way back up. So just coming back up into that all fours position again. So make sure you separate your knees at distance to spread the hands and the belly is pulled down. And then on your next inhale, extend the left leg behind you. So again, the toes are down. So make sure all of the toes are down so you get a nice stretch to all of the toes, and then press the heel away from you. So bringing that stretch into the calf as well. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So again, you can either keep your foot on the ground, just move it side to side, or lift it up so it's level with your hip. And as you inhale, just move it away and then draw it back in. Again, just see how the hip feels. Without feeling that you have to get anywhere in particular. Get the hips nice and still. Okay, we'll do one more. When you're ready, slowly release that knee back down. Now this time we're going to move into a downward facing dog. So we'll spread the hands underneath you and then tuck your toes and lift your hips to down dog. If you come in, start to maybe think about spreading the toes a little bit, spreading your hands, shuffling out of your fingers. Any little movements that you like to do, or maybe you just hold in the stretch. When you're ready, on your next inhale, we'll just lift the heels up and start to walk your feet up towards the top of your mat. So as you come up, we'll separate the feet about hip distance and then just folding forwards towards your legs. So you could use your block here or your hands on your legs, or maybe just allow the arms just to dangle down. So whatever feels right to you. When you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to lengthen your spine. So start to move the hands, so maybe halfway up the legs, so lengthen forwards. On the exhale, just folding back in towards your legs. On the inhale, we'll reach up. And on the exhale, we'll just bring the palms together, just in front of your heart. Maybe closing the eyes for a moment, just see how you feel as you come up to standing. Okay, from there, you can release your hands and open your eyes. We're going to continue working to your feet. So we're going to stand onto your right leg. What we're going to do first of all is you're going to lift your left heel up. So you're just lifting up the heel. So you're kind of coming up to the ball of your foot and then release it back down. So we'll do that again. So lift up through your left heel. And you can always use a wall or something here if you needed to, but we're just coming up to the ball of your foot first. We'll do that once more. And then this time come up and stay up on the ball of your foot And then start to just circle round gently. So you won't get very much movement. You don't want to move the knee too much, but we're just circling round with yourself on the ball of your foot. And then change direction, so go the other way. Just a tiny little movement. Well done. And back into the center. Release the heel down. Now this time do it come all the way up onto your toes. So lift all the way up. So you're coming up onto your toes. And then release it back down. So do that again. So lift up onto the toes and release down. Okay, we'll do that a couple more times. So lift up. And one more. So stay at the top. Now this time start to circle round. So again, through kind of your toes here. So we're not moving much, but you'll get a little bit of movement through your toes. Down. And then slowly release all the way back down. It might feel a bit funny, it tends to do when you do things with your feet, because they hold a lot of tension in them. So we'll do that on the other side. So when you're ready, standing on that left leg, spread your toes and lift up through your right heel. So just to the ball of your foot, first of all, and then down. So lift it up and lower down. Okay, we'll do one more. So again, as you lift up, hold up, and then start to move around. So you're kind of pressing through your foot, and you're just circling around through your leg a little. You might not get movement, but just see how that feels. Okay, release that down, this time up onto your toes. So lift up, coming up a little bit higher if you can. Lift. Okay, we'll do that twice more. And then this time lift up and hold up, and then start to circle, make these little circles round. It could really be any movement. We're just using a circle just for ease. Well done. And then slowly release down, give your legs maybe a little bit shake off. Again, you might feel quite a lot of sensation in your feet. And this time we're going to do both feet together. So you could bring your feet a little bit closer or keep them apart, just depending on your balance. And then from here, we're just going to lift both of your heels up. So just up onto the ball of your foot first, and then release it down. Do that again, so lifting up and lowering down. Take your time. Again, this time, if you want to lift up onto the toes, so coming up a little bit higher, squeezing your ankles together if you can. Do that again, so lift up and lower. We'll do that twice more. And one more time. Release down. Now this time we're going to do the toes rather than your heels. So when you're ready, you're going to pick all 10 toes up off the ground. So just pull them up towards you. And then from there, if you can, we're going to lay down through your little toe first. So the little toe goes down, and then the next toe, and the next toe, and the next toe, and then the big toe goes down. Okay, do that again. So lift all 10 toes up. This time try and lay it down from your big toe first. So the big toe, then the next toe, then the next toe, then the next toe. It's quite hard. And then release down. Like that. And then you can give your legs just a little movement if you want. So we're going to come in and do tree pose now. So if you do want to use a wall here, please grab one. And again, just modify it, see how you want to move. But we'll stand on your right leg first. We'll spread the toes, so we've got a good firm position. Maybe you just lift your heel up and rest it just onto your ankle, coming up towards your calf if you like, or maybe moving that leg up towards the inner part of your thigh. And we'll bring the hands just towards the center of your chest, first of all. And if you want to keep your hands on your hips or any other way, then please do that also. Just try and use your toes, use your foot. Think about all the parts of your foot and try and use them. And we use it to ground, so we use it to root to rise, so we want to lift up out of it. And then if you feel like you want to, maybe reach your arms up, but just see how that feels. You could lift them up wide or narrow. It's really up to you. And if that affects your balance too much, then keep your hands down. Well done. We'll take one more inhale. We'll slowly release the hands and then releasing your foot back down. And maybe bring your feet back together and close your eyes just for a moment. Just see what sensations you create, both in your body and also in your mind as well. Sometimes we have to watch how we think about ourselves. Okay, we'll try that on the other side. So again, if you're using a wall, just adjust yourself so you've got it. We'll spread the toes on the left leg, coming into any position that you want in your tree, just moving in. Take your time, adjust it if you need to, and bring your hands towards the center. Before you do anything, just try and find your drishti and your breath into balance. And then if you like, you can start to reach with the hands. But again, if it's not working for you on this side, then leave the hands where they are. Well done. When you're ready, slowly releasing the hands now. Release your legs. Bring your feet together and your hands together. Close your eyes. Okay, release the hands, so open the eyes. We're going to come in and do some standing posture, still using our feet quite strongly here. So if you've got your mat long ways, you can just stay with it long ways like I have, if you can stand like that. And then we're just going to step your feet wide. So we're just going to take your feet wide into a wide leg forward fold. So if you do have your block handy, then just grab that. So again, when you get there, try and use your feet and your toes to rise out of the ground. Try and lengthen through the legs. So we're using everything here. Draw your belly in. And then start to maybe reach with your arms. And then if you'd like, you could fold forward and just take the hands to your thighs. So you could just move in like that. If you want a little bit more, then start to release yourself down. And have your block just in front of you. And use that, or take your hands to the ground, whatever you can. And then maybe start to just gently move forwards a little bit. So we're just moving the body weight just towards the balls of your foot a little bit more, without making the heels light. So when we say forwards, it's just because a lot of the time when we're doing it, we're kind of back like this, and we want to be more forwards like this. So it's just to kind of avoid this kind of feeling. You want to be kind of more forwards. Just be aware of how it feels in your body. So still strongly using your feet and your legs. Back to then use your breath. So using the breath to allow us to stay in the posture for maybe a little bit longer. To maybe deepen the posture, but not necessarily. So sometimes, it's better to come out of it than to move further in. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We're going to come back up. So start to draw your belly in, maybe bend your knees, just roll yourself all the way back up towards the top. And when you come up towards the top, you're going to turn your right toes just towards the top edge of your mat, so to the short edge. So we're coming in for triangle or trikonasana here. So as you do that, keep the hips nice and open and start to push away. So just lean forwards a little bit. And you might just take your hand onto your leg. You don't have to come down that deeply. And if you want to reach up with your top hand, then do that. And just start to move into triangle, but without force or without feeling you have to get further. Just see how it feels. If you want to move your top hand, then take it either to your hip or behind your back. Good. And start to use your feet again. So the feet are your anchor. They're grounding you. They're allowing you to move in more. They're keeping us steady. I did hear a nice phrase the other day, which was when we're doing triangle, to imagine that you're between two waterfalls and you don't want to get wet. Nice. So you could imagine that. Okay, as you inhale, we'll start to move back up again. So take your time as you lift back up. And then this time we'll bend into that right leg. So we're coming in for warrior two. So again, you might adjust your feet. You might not. Reach with your fingertips, maybe look along that front hand. If you want to deepen it a little bit, then maybe you move that back leg back, but you just move in to where it feels right to you. Think about your drishti. Good, opening up through the hips still. Breathing deeply. Okay, we'll take one more inhale here. Now from here, we're going to come into warrior one, which is a bit of a strange way of coming into it, but if you want to, you could always hop your back foot in, but we turn the toes of the back foot and then start to move round into that warrior one position. So you might need to adjust your feet a little bit. Often we have a slightly narrower position for warrior one than we do for warrior two. So, if you need to do that, then definitely do it. And maybe look up at your hands. And if you feel like you're tight in your shoulders, then maybe move the hands down a little bit. So maybe that releases the tightness, or maybe just release them down altogether. But try and get a softness in your shoulders, and the shoulders and the hips forwards, and a little bend in your front knee if you can. Good. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, bring your hands towards the center and just start to straighten through your right leg. And then turn your right toes towards the front again. So we're going to come in for another forward fold. So we're going to do the same one. So again, if you need your block, grab it. As you inhale, we'll reach up. And on the exhale, come forward. So again, maybe hands to your legs. Maybe release down. And just see how it feels coming into it for the second time. Sometimes it needs that second time to just allow your body to release a little bit. So where can you soften? Can you soften through your head a little bit? Are you holding tension through your legs? That is not necessary to hold you up. Okay, we do need some tension there, but sometimes we hold too much. Think about your feet. So spread your toes. We try to lift the insteps of our feet in yoga. So we're trying to get that kind of little rise through your instep, so it's not completely flat-footed. As you inhale, we'll start to come back up. Again, take your time moving out of it, coming up in your own way. Okay, so as you come up, we'll turn the toes of your left foot up towards the top edge of your mat. So again, coming in for triangle. So maybe you push a little bit through that hip and lengthen over the left leg. Just laying your hand just where it will naturally go without you forcing yourself into it. Just take it to where it will go. Maybe reach up with your top hand, maybe bend that arm behind your back. And think about what you're trying to do. So you're trying to stretch the side of your body. You're trying to stretch the legs. So that inner thigh and that front leg should be feeling it a little bit. Good. And we're trying to create space. Trying to make things longer. So our arms, our legs, our torso. Okay, when you're ready, inhale, come back up again. So take your time and then start to rebend that front leg. So coming in for warrior two. So reach through your fingers, maybe look along the front hand, open up through your hips a little bit. So keeping that front knee pulling back a little. And think about your upper body as well. So draw the shoulders together at the back, open your chest a bit, and use your feet. And staying present with the mind. And if it doesn't stay present, then all you need to do is just to notice it and just bring it back. Okay, so from here we're going to move into warrior one. So you might need to step your back foot in a little bit. You might just turn the toes and rotate the body and lift up. Again, just see how it all feels when you get there. And be prepared to change. Keep drawing the inner thighs towards one another. Keep relaxing through your shoulders. So often we kind of relax a little bit, then we tense it up, and we need to remind ourselves to relax a little bit more. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Then from here, we're going to release the hands all the way down towards your mat. So just coming either side of that left foot. Turn on the toes of your right foot, so you're just coming into a lunge position. And then from there, we'll just step back, lift your left leg, and lower your knees to the ground. And we're just going to move back into a child's pose. Set yourself back. And this time, maybe just bring your hands together, so kind of in a prayer position in front of you. And then if you want to, you could drop your head down, lift the hands over, and the thumbs kind of go to the base of your neck. Just a little stretch through the arms. When you're ready, slowly release your hands and then start to press yourself back up. So you're using your hands just to move back towards your knees. As you come back up, we're going to sit. We're going to do a little a self foot massage. So if you've got a bolster or something, or a cushion or a pillow, you could use that to support your leg when you're doing it. You don't have to. You could use a block. But you're just going to basically have your right leg out in front, your left leg, your knee either on a block or a bolster or something just to support it. And then we're just going to use your hands. So you just basically bring your foot to a comfortable position. So it's going to be there for a minute or two. So you want it not to be kind of hanging in the air, which is why we use kind of a bolster or a block. So your knee is not just hanging there, but it's actually lying on something. And then all we're going to do is you're going to just use your thumbs here. And we're just going to start to circle or create circles in your foot. So you can start the side of your foot first of all and just move along the side. So from your heel all the way up to your big toe. And then when you've done that, then start to move into kind of the ball of your foot. And again, you're just circling round a little bit. And then from the ball of the foot, move down to the arch of your foot, which should feel a lot of sensation there. So you're just gently, and you can apply as much or as little pressure as you want, but you're just circling your thumbs just in circles round that arch. And then just move down and do the heel as well. So you could spend quite a bit of time on this, but we're not going to spend a lot of time. We're just going to do that just for a moment. And then from there, if you want to, you could take your hand and you basically interlink your fingers between your toes. So you come from the back, so from the back of your foot or the sole of your foot, and you just take your first finger between your thumb and between your big toe and the first toe. And then you can move that across and then you take your next finger. So you're inserting it basically between your toes, which can feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. But it's really good for our yoga practice because essentially what we want to have is toes that can spread really, really wide. And this procedure of placing your fingers into the gaps between your toes actually helps with that. And again, I'm not saying it's the most comfortable thing in the world, but if you want to do it, you can. And you can start to just gently move. So you can move your fingers kind of forwards and back once they're there. You can also, if you want to, so if you look at this hand, you can spread your fingers once they're in there and you can squeeze them back together. Okay, so you just spread your fingers once they're between your toes and squeeze them back together. And you can do that a couple of times if you want. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pull the fingers up through the toes. So you're going to start to draw them up towards the top of your toes, squeezing your fingers as you're doing it, if you can, and then let them go. You just let them go at the top. And then you can just release that leg, give it a little shake. And we'll change sides. So keep your left leg straight. We're going to bend in through your right leg. And again, you could lay it onto a cushion or a block or something if you want to support it. And then just lifting that foot up, start to just circle round. So again, start from the heel, move along the side of your foot, and you're just circling round through both of your thumbs. This kind of circular movements, all the way up towards that big toe. And then when you get to it, start to move to the ball of your foot. And again, we're just creating little circles, big circles, it doesn't really matter. And you can apply more force or less force. And then start to move down towards the arch of your foot. And again, start to circle round through the arch of your foot. And you might feel bits that are more sensitive as you move in. And then down towards the heel, so start to circle round through the heel as well. You might have to apply a bit more pressure there. And then move up towards your toes again. So again, using your left hand this time. So we go from the back, inserting that ring, first finger, second finger, third finger, and fourth finger if you can. And then start to move the fingers. So you're just kind of moving them forwards and back to start. Just kind of very gently massaging your toes with your hand. And then if you want to, you can start to spread the fingers and close the fingers. So we spread them quite wide and then we squeeze them. So we squeeze the fingers back together. And again, you can charge of how much force you're applying here. And then either with the fingers closed or with the fingers open, start to slowly draw the fingers up the toes. We're just squeezing as we come up. And then maybe at the top, release them. And you can release your legs. Okay, coming back in, we're going to sit with your legs out in front of us. So we're going to come in for Janu Shirasana here. So we're going to keep your right leg straight. We're going to bend the left leg in, bringing the sole of your foot just towards the inside. And again, you could use that cushion or block again, just to support that leg if you'd like to. And if you've got your strap, then grab it. Place it around the ball of your foot. And then inhale to reach up and fold forwards on the exhale. Again, start to maybe look at your toes as you're just straight. Start to lengthen through your spine a little bit. Okay, we'll take one more inhale here. We're going to move back up, and you're either going to come back in for Janu Shirasana, or if you'd like to, you could try a variation on it. So our toes are pretty flexible now, so don't will that work on them, hopefully. So we take the toes and we basically press the toes down, but we let the rest of the foot come out to the side a little bit. So the toes press down. So it's like when we were stepping back with your foot and you had your toes down. So the toes, you might probably have to use your hands to pull them back a bit, but the toes press down towards the mat. The rest of the foot is lifted and the leg goes out to the side. If it feels too much for you, just come back in for Janu Shirasana. But it is a real good way of increasing the flexibility of your toes. If you're interested in that, you might not be. And then we'll fold forwards. So again, Janu Shirasana is a good alternative. So inhale to reach up, exhale to fold. Again, if it becomes too uncomfortable, then you release it. If you can move in a little bit more, then move in. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We'll start to come back up. So again, take your time moving up out of it, and then release your feet and maybe give your legs a little shake. So we'll come in for the other side. So we're going to come in just for Janu Shavasana first. So we'll keep the left leg straight, bend that right leg in. Again, use a block if you'd like. Move your body around so you're more central towards that left leg. And then inhale to reach up, using the strap if you'd like. Hold forwards, taking hold of whatever comes to reach as you come down. And look towards your toes and start to relax a little bit through the body. Slowly come up. So again, you can come back in for Janu Shavasana if you like. Otherwise, we take the foot the other way. We take hold of the toes. So we kind of peel them back a bit, if you like, placing the toes on the ground. We then let the leg drop out to the side and then move forward from there. Again, if it doesn't suit you, if it doesn't feel right to you, then Janu Shavasana is where you're going. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release it, coming back up again. Just releasing your legs, give them a little shake. We're going to come in for a wide legged forward fold now. So again, if you want to use your block, you could sit on it. Widen your legs with a little bend in your knees if you'd like. Maybe sit forwards a little bit or kind of pull the fleshy parts away. And again, if you like to reach up on the inhale, stretch, and then an exhale, fold. Or if you like to just walk forwards, then do that. Just to any degree, just getting a little stretch to the back of the legs. Try and find a softness somewhere. And just the right place, so you can just be in that place without having to be concerned about how it feels too much in your body. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We'll start to make our way back up. So just taking your time, your eyes back up. As you come in, we're going to come in for Baddha Konasana. So we're going to bring the soles of your feet together. So start to move them in. And again, you can choose here to have your legs further away, or maybe you move your hips closer in. Just see how that feels. And for the first few moments here, maybe just taking your elbows and gently pressing the knees away from you, just stretching the inner thighs a little bit. Take your time, so move into, ease into it. So rather than just going into full tilt, then try and ease yourself. And you can either stay here just with the elbows pressing gently against the legs, or release that, take hold of your feet, and then start to fold in a little bit more. But again, just see how it feels. If it doesn't feel right to you, then move out of it a little bit. Or if your body opens up, then maybe move in a little bit more. And the idea is that we kind of take hold of the feet as if we were kind of opening a book. So that's kind of what the idea we want with Baddha Konasana. Just work with it how it feels right to you. When you're ready, slowly start to come back up again. So you can release your legs, maybe just give them a little shake off. But I'm going to come down onto your mats. If you've got your strap handy, then grab hold of it. So we're going to use it a little bit just on your mat. So if you lay yourself down on your mat, you can bend your knees to have both of your feet flat onto the floor. I'm going to use the strap here. So if you grab hold of it, we're just going to bend the right knee in and take hold of the strap with the ball of your foot and then extend it up towards the ceiling. So you have to straighten the leg fully. And then if you can, just placing that strap just on the ball of your foot, you're going to start to pull the toes down towards you. And you're going to flex the foot up towards the ceiling. So it will work through that stretch, that hamstring stretch that we tend to do, but it also helps to kind of help with the feet flexibility as well when you're there. Again, we're not being aggressive about it. We're being quite gentle. So we're not pulling, but we're just very gently persuading the leg. And then if you want to, you can either keep your left foot flat on the ground or you could extend your left leg along the ground, but just see how that feels. If it's too much, then rebend your left leg. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release the strap so you can bend your knee a little bit, and then just bring that leg all the way down so it comes alongside your left leg. You just notice that one leg feels a little bit longer than the other. So we'll bend both legs again, and we'll bend the left knee in, taking hold of the strap on the ball of your foot, and then start to move it up. Again, ease into it, so we're not rushing, we're just taking our time, moving in. Maybe start to gently draw the foot forwards a little bit without pulling the leg, so we're just kind of very gently stretching the foot a little. And then as the leg eases off, maybe it comes more into the leg. And then from there, either keeping that right foot flat on the ground or extending it away along the ground. Try and relax your arms a little bit. Relax your grip a little bit. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Slowly start to release the strap so you can bend the leg and then start to lengthen that leg along the ground as well. And then from here, if you bend both of your knees again, we're just going to come into a reclined version of Baddha Konasana. So we're going to bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees drop open to the side. You can either keep your hands so they're by your sides or on your low belly, or if you want a bit more opening through your chest, then take your hands over your head so the upper body starts to open up a little bit more as well. But just if that feels like the right thing for you. If it's too much on the low back, then release the arms back over. And you're ready, slowly release your hands. So if they're over your head, just bring them back down. And you can use your hands now just to press the legs back together again. And then if you'd like, just with the legs together, we'll just drop both knees over towards the left side. Maybe stretch your arms and look along your right hand. Then you're ready, back to the centre with your legs, and we'll just move the other way, so just gently drop them over. And turn your head if you like.
just back and towards the middle. This time draw your knees towards your chest and you can make any, excuse me, final little movements there. If you do want to grab some socks or jumper or something, then please do that. And just pop it on. And then just finding a comfortable position when you're ready. Start to notice your breath, your body. And today I thought I'd read you a little poem. It's called The Man with the Funny Yoga Mat. Once a man came to my yoga class. The first day, he walked up to me and said, "I need exercise. Will I get it here?" "Yes," I said. "Yoga is exercise." He was blunt and direct and walked away. I watched him spread out his yoga mat, but I could see that the mat wouldn't lie flat. The edges were curled up. The next week, he came up to me and said, "I'm sleeping better, but I don't want to give up ice cream." "That's fine," I said. He walked away. I watched him spread out his yoga mat. The edges were still curled up, but I could see that his mat was trying to lie flat. The next week, he came, but he was quiet. He only spoke to me after class. "What is this anyway?" "What is what?" I asked. "Yoga." "It's what you want it to be," I said. He was puzzled but curious, and I watched him walk out the door, yoga mat under his arm. The next week he came and said, "I'm losing some of this." He shook his belly a bit and laughed for the first time. "That's good," I said. He spread out his yoga mat, and I could see that the edges were starting to lie flat. On the last day of class, he came up to me with a soft face. "There was a beautiful sunset last night," he said. "Did you see it?" "Yes," I said. "I saw it." Then he walked away to a quiet corner of the classroom and spread out his yoga mat, and the edges were flat, and his yoga mat lied flat. Yoga is our natural state. We just have to rediscover it. We had it as children. We lost it as we grew up and took on the world. When you're ready, we'll take a deep inhale through your nose and then just sigh it out your mouth. And just do that again, deeply inhale. Just let it go. And then we'll start to move a little bit. So through your fingers and your toes. Maybe stretching your arms over your head. And if you'd like, you could bring your arms over and start to bend your knees. You can move in any way you wish, so side to side, forwards and back. If you lay on your side, that's fine. And then just when you're ready, we'll start to come up. Just take your time. So just find a comfortable seat when you're ready, bringing the palms together just in front of your heart. Just leaving a little gap just to signify an openness in your heart. Thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. We enjoyed the head to toe practice that we did. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll just stop that recording.